is Patricia Johnson, and I would like to welcome you to the Martin Luther King Jr. Student Arts Contest Finals. This is the 24th year that the Palmetto Youth Center has hosted an event that displays the creativity of Manatee County's middle and high school students. This year's contestants are going to highlight their talents in the areas of visual arts, oratory, and music. Each visual arts contestant was tasked with celebrating the legacy of Martin Luther King by creating artwork, which would include paintings, photography, watercolor, or computer graphics. And those graphics would support the contest theme, Our Kids, Our Future. Each oratory contestant was tasked with presenting an existing speech or poem from past or present civil rights leaders, or an original piece that would celebrate Martin Luther King's legacy through public speaking and oratory. And last but not least, our musical contestants were tasked with presenting their talents through vocal or instrumental music. Tonight's oratory and musical presentations will be evaluated based on all aspects of the piece's delivery. The visual arts contestants will be evaluated based on their creativity during their submission process. Each finalist will be asked to present their entry tonight. When you come up, please say your name, school, and grade level before you begin. That's what? Name, school, and grade level. Now, before we move forward, I would like to introduce the judges for this evening. They are Kenyatta Randall in the back, Stefanti Randall, she's also right there, Avery Ruff Harris, and I would also like to do a special thanks for Sharon Cheatham and Frida Bellamy for helping out with this year's contest as well. You guys. So we're going to begin the competition with the oratory contestants, then we'll move into the visual arts category, and then we'll round it off with music. You guys ready? All right. There are 18 finalists competing tonight in total of the three categories, and we're going to begin with contestant number 1, who is going to say their name, school, and grade level before they begin. Are you guys ready? Let's give a quick, all right, let's go.
My name is Kara Young from 7th grade at Brain River Middle School. Future is defined as time regarded as still to come. To me, the future is defined by what we do today, and what we do today should be for the good of all. Civil rights education is one of the main things we can do for a better future. The main idea carried by civil rights is protection from unlawful discrimination. Discrimination is present in our society whether we like it or not. I cannot stress how important it is to educate our future leaders on civil rights so they can carry on the idea of equality that we hold dear to us. The civil rights movement transformed America. It remade public schools by ending segregation in education. School is somewhere everyone should feel welcome, appreciated, and most importantly, represented. The civil rights movement affected so many Americans. It is one of the most important historical events to date. This is why education is so important. We need to teach about this movement that brought so many people together and is still bringing people together now. How are kids supposed to accept and include everyone if we don't teach them now? We are relying on the next generation to become leaders and to do what's best for everyone. Many think civil rights is an adult topic, but this kind of thinking is what's going to get us to the point where educating about civil rights is a thing of the past. We not only have to think of the education of the future, but their feelings as well. While they might not appreciate it at the time, when they look back, they will be proud of the further understanding they have of right and wrong. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education." The generation of today is the leaders of tomorrow. We need leaders who not only believe in justice and equality, but will fight for it. For a better future, we need education today. Ruby Bridges, one of the most influential people in ending segregation in public schools, said, "We may not all be equally guilty, but we are all equally responsible for creating a decent and just society." Thank you.
My name is Aaliyah Santa Maria from Brain River, and I'm in 8th grade. Have you ever wondered how to protest peacefully? How to have a say in the world? Well, MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., did it all. He fought for the justice of African Americans so they could live equally now. He was a change maker. You might think that he was always like this, but he wasn't. Dr. King was born January 15th, 1926, in Atlanta, Georgia. But time always stops when you're making an enormous difference in the world. MLK also had a dream that his kids would not have to be judged by being colored. This dream happened because he saw what was happening in the world, that he wanted to make a difference. It all started when Rosa Parks refused to move on the boycott bus in 1955. After that incident, Dr. King used his preaching job as an advantage to get the word out about the civil rights movement. Dr. King had enormously powerful words that have changed this world for the better. The one quote that was most powerful of his was, "The time is always right to do what is right." He influenced me that you always have the power to do good in the world, even if it is the smallest thing. Sometimes the smallest things have the biggest impacts. He never gave up on his right to change the world. Dr. King started his I Have a Dream speech. His I Have a Dream speech He wished that his kids could live freely without being judged by the way their skin looks or their color. He wanted the world to come to peace with all the racial problems. He faced what some people thought was fair, but it wasn't. The racial problems back then were 10 times worse because people did not notice them. Dr. King made people notice those problems that were being caused. Sometimes people like to say that there is always a reason something in life happens. For this, the reason was racial profiling, and Dr. King reduced it with his powerful speech, the I Have a Dream speech. The I Have a Dream speech was to influence viewers that Dr. King had a dream. His dream was that the world would be peaceful at a point, that his kids wouldn't have to be judged by being colored, so the rest of his family didn't have to go through all the struggles of being mistreated. He did somewhat accomplish this, but a couple people didn't like the way he put it, even though it was the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts, but Dr. King was killed for speaking his truth. He was killed for speaking his rights. He was killed for doing the right thing. He was killed for standing up for the ones who did not have a voice. He took the chance to make an opportunity for others, and this is why we celebrate him, because he stood up for others and took the chance for others. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Isabella Vizcaino. I go to Lakewood Ranch High School and I'm in 9th grade. Today, I want to take a moment and reflect on the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and connect his powerful message to the importance of educating our kids and shining light for generations to come. Dr. King once said, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, What are you doing for others? These words resonate deeply as they remind us that the actions that we take today shape the world of tomorrow. Dr. King believed in the power of being enlightened, justice, and love. His dream was for every child, regardless of their race or background, to grow up in a world that values equality. As we know, Dr. King grew up in a very rough time. With segregation taking over, little boys and girls grew up already having racially motivated ways of thinking. No colored signs would take up areas of leisure, schools, bathrooms, and water fountains. Although some argued that both Black and white people would be getting the same experience, Dr. King opposed of the idea, separate but equal. His calm but strong demeanor and ways of speaking for the civil rights movement during his demonstrations, speeches, and marches truly sparked hope. However, his vision isn't fully realized yet. Think about school. Many kids face poverty, discrimination, and bullying daily. Those kids you see at school getting bullied and sitting alone have feelings just like everyone else. They go through the same struggles as others, and you probably have lots of things in common. After all, it's not that hard to be humble and kind to others, and it's the least thing that we can do as human beings. We forget that these same children are going to grow up someday and run our world like the adults of today are. They are the dreamers, innovators, and leaders of tomorrow. It is our responsibility to invest in their education, talents, and just to be alongside them. Support and love can truly change a person. Spreading your kindness never goes unnoticed, and you never know how it can truly make someone's day. Dr. King's dream wasn't just about eliminating corruption, but creating a future where everyone can dream freely and achieve whatever they strive for. So, what are we going to do for our kids, our future? The answer is simple. Treat every child with the same amount of respect and encouragement so that they feel motivated to live up to it. Don't be that person who puts someone down or makes someone feel like quitting. Everyone has the potential to fulfill their dreams and make a difference. Let us commit ourselves to this cause as it could bring us closer to Dr. King's goal, equality. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Megan Vitale. I go to Lakewood Ranch High School and I'm in the 9th grade. Today I'll be presenting you the speech, Tomorrow's World Starts with Today's Children. The future is the time after the past and present. Its arrival is considered inevitable due to the existence of time and the laws of physics. Due to the apparent nature of reality and the unavoidability of the future, everything that currently exists and will exist is categorized as either permanent, meaning that it will exist forever, or temporary, meaning that it will end. Kids are our future. Even though humans are temporary, the ideas that shape the future are permanent. Ideas, however simple as they may seem, like that all people should be treated equally. The children are the next generation, and the adults that raise the kids are passing on a legacy to them, whether for good or for poor. They may grow up to be Einsteins, Edisons, and Gandhis, or they may turn out to be a burden on society. All people started out as kids, and they shape the future. They may have had major parts to play, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the Civil Rights Movement, or they may have had parts so small that they are almost inconceivable. Either way, everyone has an influence on the future. Just one person can influence another into doing something that could colossally change the permanent future. The future could be shaped so that the children of the next generation can grow up in a utopia of freedom and peace where all people are treated equally, or the children of the next generation could grow up in a war-torn country where all they are surrounded by is hate and prejudice. Based on the environment the children are raised in will massively affect the timeline of the future, which is why it is important to have places like the Palmetto Youth Center, which will help allow the children to embrace their education and become positive contributors to society, to help target the children of the future before they are induced in drugs, crimes, and other unhealthy lifestyles, which will help to keep the future of the world geared towards a utopian society rather than a dystopian society. Children hold the future of the world in their hands. They should be heard and not just seen. We need to stop discrediting the young simply because they are young. Kids deserve to be aware of what they will be walking into when they go out in the world because they will be taking over it soon. Kids should know what is going on in the world because it helps them to become informed and responsible citizens. Understanding global events fosters critical thinking skills and awareness, which are essential for making thoughtful decisions. It also encourages empathy and inspires them to take action and contribute positively to society. By knowing what is happening around them, kids can better understand their role in the world and how they can make a difference. People will not want their future president to not know the economy is crumbling. For all intents and purposes, kids are more than just the future. They are the promise of a better world. So we should give them the opportunity to invest in their education, nurture their talents, and support their dreams. For in doing so, we serve a brighter and more hopeful tomorrow for all. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Liam Seidel. I go to Lakewood Ranch High School, and I'm in 9th grade. Today, I'd like to present to you my original poem that I created, titled Our Kids, Our Future. Our kids, our future, bright and true. In their minds are the dreams we all pursue. Their eyes gleam and their hearts glow. What the future holds, only our kids know. They are the spark that lights the way, the burning flame in our darkest day. With every laugh, with every cheer, they chase away our deepest fear. Our kids, our future, filled with grace. They love the world in front of their face. They'll stand for peace and for what is right, and guide all that wish to fight. In their hands, the world will change. Their voices can reach an extreme range. From here to there, from there to here, they unite all hearts who wish to care. Those without a voice and those without a choice, every soul they speak for all. They'll raise our spirits high and free to shape a world we wish to see. With every step they'll make their mark, and a light that grows beyond the dark. They'll find the truth, they'll seek the wise, and lift us all to higher skies. Our kids are future, strong and bright. You are the star, the guiding light. The promise of a dream, a world that's better, one whole team. The earth will heal beneath your feet. You'll walk with kindness, love, and heat. The oceans rise, the forests stand, because you'll care with gentle hands. You'll find new ways to make things whole. You'll plant the seeds to heal each soul. Through every challenge, you'll persist. And in your eyes, the world will exist. Our kids are future, pure and free. You are the force that we can see. Your hearts will lead, your minds will rise. You'll chase the stars and reach the skies. Through your words, you'll make us think. With every step you push to the brink, the boundaries of we all have known will fall as your strength is shown. You'll build a world where all belong, where kindness reigns and hearts are strong, where every hand is held with care and every soul is free to share. Our kids, our future, bound to soar. You'll show us what we're living for. Your dreams are vast, your courage loud. You'll lift us all above the crowd. The world will turn, but you will steer, with wisdom deep, without a fear. For in your hearts the hope will rise, a future bright beneath your skies. Our kids are future, here and now. You are a hope, we take a vow. To lift you up and hold you near, and trust in you for many years. You'll lead us through the trials ahead, with courage, love, and dreams widespread. Our kids are future, we believe, that through your eyes we will achieve. You are the change that we can feel, the promise that the world can heal. Our kids are future, strong and bright. With you we find our guiding light. So go ahead and take your flight. With every step, the world ignites. Our kids, our future, full of grace. You'll shape the world and take your place. Our hearts are yours, our trust you hold, as you create a world of gold. Our kids, our future, make it yours. We'll follow you to open doors. Thank you, everybody.
Good evening. My name is Miranda Lemos. I am from Lakewood Ranch High School and I'm a 9th grade student. Civil rights leaders including Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King fought for the world we have today. They knew that oncoming generations should not be judged by the color of skin, but by their character. Reciting a speech made by Rosa Parks before Martin Luther King's Alabama speech. Rev. Abernathy and all the distinguished leaders of this nation and all of you wonderful freedom fighters, my brothers and my sisters and my children. Because I've been called the mother of this, you see before you now a victim of all that has been perpetrated against one to make us less than human. As a very small child, I had to hide from the Ku Klux Klan to keep myself from getting killed or from thinking I was going to be killed. My family was deprived of the land they owned and driven off of it after they had worked and paid for it. I did not have the opportunity to attend school as many have, and I am handicapped in every way. But I am expected to a first-class citizen. I want to be one. I have struggled hard during my early days. I will always be thankful for the NAACP for giving me some direction to try and channel my activities for a better way of life. I am also thankful for Dr. Martin Luther King, who came to Montgomery with his nonviolent Christian attitude and loving your neighbors. Of course, last few days in Selma, actually, I almost lost the faith. I almost didn't come here today because so many people told me not to come here. And I said to myself, I cannot come here. Seeing what had happened in Selma, armed with only love, however, I came here with a hope and a faith, and you haven't given me back that faith today. I also want to say that through compliments of someone we were given, showered, leaflets of the communist school, that particular school where they had accused Dr. King of being a student. He was not a student, but I was. And that particular school, Miles Horton, is responsible for me not hating every white person I see. I learned at that time and at that place that there are decent people of every race and color. We are not in a struggle of black against white, but wrong and right, right against wrong. Thank you, and many things I could say, but I will not for the lack of time, because we must hear from Dr. King, our leader. Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, and many other civil rights activists fought for the world we have today. They face many inequalities because of the color of their skin, but instead of letting that bring them down from what they know is right, they fought for a better future for new generations, so we wouldn't face the same inequalities they did. Although all inequalities are not yet gone, we can change that following the quote, "Our kids, our future." Thank you.
My name is Alexandra Kaufman. I go to Lakewood Ranch High School and I'm in 9th grade. Our kids, our future. As high school students, we are often told that we are the future of our nation. But what does that really mean? How can we, as high school students, shape the world we live in? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education." This highlights two key traits that everyone needs to focus on: intelligence and character. Education is not just about acing tests or getting good grades. It's about developing the kind of character that will let us as kids make positive changes in the world. The schools we go to are not just places where we learn math and science. They are places where we learn to be compassionate, responsible, and honest. Dr. King also said, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically." This means that our education should inspire us to question the world around us, to challenge things that are not right, and to find solutions to the problems we face. But it's not just about what we learn inside the classroom. It's about what we do outside of it. Volunteering, participating in community projects, and standing up for what is right. These actions shape our character and prepare us to be leaders. Dr. King believed in the power of youth to bring about change to injustice. He said, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" This question should motivate us to think about our future and the kind of world we want to create for ourselves and for others. Our generation has the potential to change some of the biggest challenges we are currently facing: climate change, social justice, and advancement in technology. But to do this, we need to be intelligent and compassionate. We need to be critical thinkers and empathetic leaders. We must also understand the importance of unity and collaboration. Dr. King once said, "We may have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now." This means that despite our diverse backgrounds, we all live in the same world. By working together, supporting each other, and sharing our differences, we can create a stronger, more inclusive future. Furthermore, we should be inspired by the strength and determination of those who came before us. Dr. King faced many harsh challenges, yet he never gave up on his dream of equality and justice. His legacy teaches us that perseverance and commitment to our values can lead to a strong change. As we go through our own experiences and past, let's remember to stay strong and never lose sight of our goals or what's important. Adding to that, we should also be innovative. The world is changing quickly, and the problems that we face today are different from the ones that happened in the past. We need to think creatively and come up with new solutions to our problems. Whether it's through technology or science, our generation has the power to continue to move forward and make a difference. Let's not forget the importance of kindness and empathy. In our world, it can be very divided for many different things. Small differences can make a big impact. Dr. King said, "Love is the only force capable of turning an enemy into a friend." By showing kindness and understanding to those around us, we can build a more connected community. Finally, let's remember that if we want to change our future, we need to start now. We don't have to wait till we're older or more experienced to make a difference. We can start making positive changes today, no matter how small the outcome may seem. To conclude everything that's been stated so far, let's remember that our education is not just about our own futures, but about building a better future for everyone. As Dr. King said, "The time is always right to do what is right." We should really take this quote with us and work together to make a future that we can all be proud to live in. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ella Terrabiel, and I go to Lakewood Ranch High School, and I'm in the 9th grade. Today, I will be sharing with you the works of an American poet, social activist, and novelist. Today, I will be reading to you all a poem by Langston Hughes entitled Mother to Son. This poem displays the idea of our kids, our future by showcasing a mother speaking to her son about the challenges she has faced throughout her life. Langston Hughes was born on February 1st, 1909. He went to Lincoln University from 1926 to 1929. He was known as a civil rights advocate up until the moment he died. Hughes wrote powerful poetry about racial injustices and the negative effects it had on African American people's lives. Martin Luther King often sampled Hughes's poetry. He brought the words of the poems to life through his iconic speeches. Langston Hughes was a huge inspiration to Dr. King, and he helped make the dream possible. Hughes has written many poems, one of his most famous being The Weary Blues. But today's poem speaks more to the heart, and it speaks for America's youth. This poem reminds people that being motivated and inspired from a young age can help make all the difference. It also urges people to leave a positive impact on children and to teach them all that you know. You never know how impactful your own child may become, and teaching them to hold their head up high, just as the mother does in this poem, can help take them far. Hughes, using a dialogue between a mother and son, helps to convey the importance of the boy's mindset, which supports the idea of how fundamental our kids are to our future. Without a strong youth, we will have a failing future. It's important to fuel your kids with strong will and a passion for change and justice, as does the mother in this poem. She tells her son that despite all of these challenges and hardships she has faced, she is still going. She encourages her son to keep his head held high and to carry on. By encouraging and inspiring our kids in the present, they will live a strong, hopeful future. For our kids are our future. The poem goes like this. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it, and splinters, and boards all torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the time, I've been climbing on, and reaching landings and turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark, where there hasn't been any light. So boy, don't turn your back. Don't you sit down on the steps because you find it's kind of hard. Don't you fall now, for I'm still going, I'm still climbing. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Luna Humada. I'm from Lakewood Ranch High School, and I'm in the 9th grade. I'm going to be telling you my original speech. Our kids, our future. Martin Luther King Jr., an eminent leader of the civil rights movement, once said in his world-renowned speech, "I have a dream." Martin Luther King once said, "I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they are not judged by the color of their skin, but are judged by the content of their character." For all, Martin Luther King once said, "I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be plain, the crooked places will be straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed for all flesh to see it together." The era of Martin Luther King's leadership was a time that demanded for a separate but equal society. It was a time where the futures that truly mattered were of children with white skin. Martin Luther King desired a future where not only his children, not only his family, not only his community, but all people targeted by the inequality of race were liberated and treated equally. The injustice of this period brought on racial insecurity to all humans of color. I specifically say humans here because in that time, people of color were treated as if they didn't have the same heart pumping, as if they didn't have the same hopes and dreams for their children as white people did. In the book, Great Expectations, Charles Dickens writes, "In the little world in which children have their existence, whosoever brings them up, there is nothing so finely perceived and so finely felt as injustice." This quote explains that, although it may not seem like it, children do recognize injustice. But just because they recognize it does not mean that they are unaffected by it. The coercing of telling children that they are separate and less than white children is what causes systemic racism. Systemic racism is the pattern of deeply ingrained discrimination against a child of color. In this case, the constant discrimination against a child of color engraves into their minds that they are just different and don't deserve a future of infinite possibilities that a white child will get. This impressionistic discrimination is why leaders of the civil rights movement fought for freedom. John Lewis, a civil rights activist, once said, "You are light, you are the future, and you are the hope. Don't let anybody, any institution, any government, or any person tell you that you can't do something. You can do anything if you set your mind to it." John Lewis inspired to encourage the future to believe in who they are and to not let injustice force them into the dark. These civil rights leaders fought for a colorblind society. They fought to leave a peaceful legacy behind for the following generations. They showed the future to continue to persevere for what they truly deserve. Ultimately, fearless leaders such as Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Charles Dickens, John Lewis, and many more fought for change. They fought for themselves, they fought for their children, and they fought for our future. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Claire Trong. I go to Lakewood Ranch High School, and I'm in 9th grade. And today I'm going to be reading the poem "The Hill We Climb" by Amanda Gorman, which was read at President Joe Biden's swearing-in ceremony in Washington and is where Amanda became the youngest inaugural poet. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We braved the belly of the beast. We learned that quiet isn't always peace, and what the norms and notions of what just is, isn't always justice. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country in a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find ourselves reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge a union with purpose. to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gaze, not to what stands between us, but to what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another when we seek harm to none and harmony to all. Let the globe, if anything else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in the bridges we've made. This is the promise to Glade, the hill we climb if only we dare. It's the path we step into. It's because being American is more than the pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy in this effort, fairly nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently deleted. In this truth, in this faith, we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption we feared at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour. But within it, we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked, how can we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move what shall be. A country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by our intimidation because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. Every breath from my bronze-padded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West. We will rise from the wind-swept Northeast where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover. In every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country, our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge, battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Joseph Ty Gauthier. I'm from Lakewood Ranch Public High School and I'm also in the 9th grade. Now, I made an original speech and I titled it Hope for Yourself. There are few lies so strong that they surpass human memory itself. Of those lies, there is none greater than the notion that the future is out of our grasp. As our generation, the youth, has come to know, hope has been all but spat upon by our superiors. When I look to my peers, I see no light in their eyes. I see no joy nor captivity. I see only a longing for a greater purpose. To quote Martin Luther King Jr., the ultimate measure of man is not where he stands in the moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Mr. King could have taken the easy way out. He could have coveted at the first sign of resistance, but he didn't. Because he knew whether he did what he did or not, the future would move past him as it does all of us. All I hear is what tribulations are to come for us and what is in store for mankind. But I would rather believe that only means we are destined to grow as a stronger people and a more united nation. We sit here waiting for change to come to us. As you've all heard a million times over, lasting change is never a convenient one. To paraphrase Dr. King Jr., those who hold power, no matter how oppressive it may be, are seldom to relinquish it. The reforms we wish to see will never come if we are static in action. This generation cannot wait for a savior, for if we do not act first, he will not come. More than ever, we must uplift each other in order to save ourselves. There is a blurred line between bravery and stupidity. The shifts you wish to see will not, cannot happen if we remain a divided people. Spending so long looking for ways to hate each other, we have completely left no room for compassion. It baffles me the things I've seen and heard with my own eyes and ears over the past few years. It is my belief that the idea of empathy has been perverted by our own fears. Martin Luther King Jr. strictly believed in the idea of peace and compassion to overcome our obstacles. As he would put it, hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So why is it that we spend our time squabbling with men and women who are meant to be our brothers and sisters when it is only the enemy who feeds off of our division? I fear that we have come to an age when we have done the devil's job for him. There is no need to manipulate us when we have already laid over and conquered ourselves. Leviticus 19:18. You should not take vengeance or bear grudge against any of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Or perhaps some of you would prefer I take from the teachings of the Quran, in which I cite, to make settlement between your brothers. No matter what beliefs you hail from, there should be one common principle: hope. Hope by building a better future through your own actions. If hope is a spark, let it kindle your flame. I am not enough of a fool to believe my words alone will change your behavior in the slightest. But if not for America's sake, and not for your children's sake, then you at least owe it to yourselves to hope. I urge you to hope for a better future, one where we look not to divide, but to collide. And when you see that light, I command you to never let go of it. They can shame you, they can slander your name, and they can even strip you of all your worldly possessions. But the reason we are so constantly reminded of our grim future is because the powers that be are not so powerful at all. The only power they truly have is what you give to them. They wish to keep you in chains because they fear us. They fear what we can do alone, not to mention together. So I urge you to hope, to put your faith in our future, because the history books are not made, and you are not to be forgotten. Now, I was going to end this with another quote, but last minute I thought that would be boring, and I realized I could just do this on stage. And I kind of look like an idiot right now, but the reason I'm getting to this is that truly, when I walked through these doors, I felt a new sense of hope. People from all different backgrounds coming to congregate under one roof that's conveniently shaped like a house, just to celebrate unity in America. If that's not what the civil rights are about, then tell me what is.
Contestant number 12, and she will be our first contestant in the visual arts category.
Hello, I'm Skylin, and I'm 13 years old, and I go to Braden River Middle School. Today I'll be talking about my drawing and the inspiration about it. What motivated me about it was that this drawing was when I looked up at Martin Luther King stuff, some ideas, what a lot of people in the world did, the same thing. Today, right now, I wanted to be bright and want to push myself, so I try my hardest. Why Martin Luther King is meaning to me. Martin Luther King always standed up for people who couldn't, and the people who couldn't, and the people who were not respected the way, and think he did the right choice in his life because he brightened a lot of people's hearts. Why art like this is important. Art like this is important because it shows that people care about Martin Luther King and the rights that he chose for other people. to go with that, I think everyone should stand up for their rights and respect people in their ways. Hold on, sorry. And I think everyone should be bright about their decisions in life and that everyone is great in their own ways. Thank you. And this is my drawing.
Hi, I'm Michaela Bondi. I'm in 7th grade and I go to Braden River Middle School. And I drew Martin Luther King Jr. because his vision about an equal world. Even after so many years, it's so relevant. Even though there's been progress, still we haven't made this dream true. True equality and some opportunities for all, despite skin color, gender, and or nationality. Martin Luther King Jr. inspired people to fight for a better future and human rights. He inspired the minorities to stand up for themselves and give them hope. Hope for a better future, where people would respect each other about who they truly are, and not for a better outcome for their kids. And it's true, if we connect as a community, we can change the existing unfairness and injustice and create a better world for us, but also the future generations, because we all have a dream. Thank you for your time.
I'm Benjamin Shore, 7th grade, and I go to Nolan Middle School. I drew Martin Luther King at his I Have a Dream speech.
Number 15.
My name is Shaylin Johnson. I go to Palmetto High, and I am in 9th grade. My drawing originally took me a lot to think about because I had no idea what to do. But then thinking about it, Martin Luther King was always about equality and having everyone of every race, tone, and skin color to be equal, whether it be from jobs or what they want to do in their future. So this is the drawing to represent it for me.
Number 16.
Good evening. My name is Orca Nugent, and I'm from Braden River High School, and I'm a senior. My drawing is of Martin Luther King at his I Have a Dream speech. But additionally, it is also showing Little Rock 9, not as a tragedy that it was, even though it was a momentous occasion. Instead of showing what it should have been, a moment for both races, all races, but at the moment, a moment for all races to come together and celebrate education, for a new beginning for children to be able to be in the same schools, no matter the color of their skin. Despite me not having much to say today, I hope my drawing is able to illustrate the momentous occasion that should have been, as our kids are our future. Education is the moment where we can look forward and not forget what happened in the past. Thank you.
And last but not least, we're going to go to contestant number 18.
me, I forgot my name. Ariana Presamoon from Lakewood Ranch High School in the 10th grade.
Let's give all of our contestants a hand. So we're going to go back and make some difficult decisions. And while we do that, we have refreshments for you. But we are very excited about what you young people did today. You guys were awesome. Give yourself another hand. We'll be back as soon as we can. All right, let's give all the contestants one more round of applause. Before I announce tonight's winners, I would really like to thank all of our sponsors because we could not put this on without them. I would like to thank Bells, who's near and dear to my heart, for providing the gifts that the finalists will receive today. I would like to thank CSNL and Blaylock Walters for providing the cash prizes that the winners will receive next Friday at the banquet. And I would like to thank Chris Dolan and METV for recording this wonderful event, which will be online, so you guys can look at it anytime. Without our sponsors, we could not do this. So please give our sponsors a hand. One more thing before we announce the winners. We have some certificates and some gifts for everyone. So as your name is called, please come down and get your gifts and your certificate. And I apologize in advance if I don't pronounce your name correctly. Luna Amada. Michaela Bonnie. Alexandra Kaufman. Joseph Gauthier. Shaylin Johnson. Miranda Lemus. Orchid Nijan. Ariana Presomine. Aaliyah Santa Maria. Liam Siddell. Benjamin Shore. Skyland Smith. Ella Terebile. Claire Trunk. Megan Fatali. Isabella Vizcano. Kara Young. Okay, on to our winners. The first category I will announce is the middle school visual arts category. In third place, and the winner of $75, which he will receive next week, Benjamin Shore. Yeah, there we go. In second place in the visual arts contest, middle school category, Shyland Smith. Skyland. I'm sorry, Skyland. And first place in the middle school category for visual arts, and the winner of $150 next week, Michaela Bonnie. All right. Skip around. Now on to the high school category for visual arts. In second place, and the winner of $100, Orchid Nijin. And in first place, and the winner of $150, Shaylin Johnson. Now on to the oratory category, middle school. Second place and the winner of $100, Aaliyah Santa Maria. And in first place, and the winner of $150 in the middle school oratory category, Kara Young. Now, on to the high school category for oratory. Our honorable mention winner tonight is Alexandra Kaufman. She will receive a cash prize of $50 next week. But come on down. Now, in third place in the high school category oratory, Joseph Gautier. He will receive a cash prize of $75. In second place in the high school category, and the winner of $100, Ella Taribal. And our grand prize winner in the high school category for oratory, the winner of $150, Luna Ahamada. And our wonderful, awesome musical contestant will win a cash prize of $150. She was awesome. Give her a hand. She was amazing. Ariana Pasamone. And just to give you a little information. I keep saying next week. So all of our first through third place winners and our honorable mentions are invited to the IMG banquet that we're having in honor of MLK next week. So hope to see you guys all there. And so I have a couple more notes and then I'm gonna let you go. I know it's been a long evening. I just wanted to really just thank you guys for coming out and supporting. I see parents in the audience, I see educators in the audience, I see grandparents in the audience, and I just want to thank you for coming out and supporting this wonderful cause, and hopefully you'll participate next year. So everyone have a good evening and good night.